The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, O Lord.
While Jesus was speaking, an official came forward, knelt down before him and said, "My daughter has just died. But come, lay your hand on her and she will live." Jesus rose and followed him, and so did his disciples. A woman suffering from hemorrhages for 12 years came up behind him and touched the tassel of his cloak. She said to herself, "If I only can touch his cloak, I shall be cured." Jesus turned around and saw her and said, "Courage, daughter, your faith has saved you." And from that hour, the woman was cured. When Jesus arrived at the official's house and saw the flute players and the crowd who were making a commotion, he said, "Go away, the girl is not dead but sleeping." And they ridiculed him. When the crowd was put out, he came and took her by the hand, and the little girl arose, and news of this spread throughout all that land. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
When I read today's Gospel, I thought there was a misprint in the bulletin, because this Gospel we had just this past Sunday. But last Sunday it was from Mark, and today is from Matthew. And there's significant difference between the two, and it's always good to compare. The message is basically the same, but the little detail. Like in Mark's Gospel, she is seriously ill, and the royal official is named Eucharist. And he brings along Peter, James, and John with him, and they have a big part in it, and he says, "Talitha cum, little girl, get up." So it's nice to compare. But what they have in common, these two miracles, people have great faith, and it's the touch of Christ. The royal official says, "Come, touch her, and she'll come back to life." Took great faith to believe that. And of course the woman saying, "If I can just touch his clothing, I will get well." Matthew doesn't have that detail. That's something Mark has. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about the Catholic faith. We have a lot of touch. We use things like relics. In our new church, we will have a relic of St. Martin de Porres. Every Catholic altar has a relic. It's very important. And we venerate the relics of the saints, because even a handkerchief was able to work miracles in the early church. Have the handkerchief of an apostle, and it cured them. So there's healing power by the touch and the cloak of Jesus, and it fits right in. And every time we come to Mass, Christ touches us. He comes to us. He comes within us through the bread and the wine. Because of the consecration at the Mass, it's become the body and blood of Christ. To be aware of the great gift you get every time you come to Mass. Jesus Christ, body, blood, soul, and divinity. That's Jesus touching us. When we take ordinary bread, it is changed into us. But when we receive Christ, the bread of life, we're changed into Him. So what an awesome gift we get every time we come. And because we come and we receive Jesus, we're called to go out and make disciples. Just want to point out to you the insert to the Gulf Pine Catholic this past week. Don't throw it away. Read it. The bishop has put a lot of work into it. It's the plan for the diocese, our mission on making intentional disciples. And we'll convince Father McGing of this eventually, okay? but anyway, the bishop is very focused on making disciples, and you all here at Most Holy Trinity are doing a great job of making disciples with the quads. Last Friday I mentioned, that I had watched a couple of webinars on how to bring back the people to church. And one of the people from here came to me after Mass and said, "Give me 4 names so that I will get our quad. Each of us take one," and contacted them. That was music to my ears. Like, if that quad can do it, why come every quad can do it and every individual do it? That's what it takes. Every quad reaching out, every person reaching out and becoming an intentional disciple. That quad will certainly make a difference, even if they don't respond favorably. At least they know they're cared about. Those 4 people will know that the church cares about them. And that's what it's all about. Reaching out and making disciples. Jesus touched the little girl and the woman with the hemorrhage, and it made a huge difference. And when we reach out and touch others by maybe a phone call or a kind word or an email or a card, that makes a difference. Other people know they're cared. So we are called to be the hands and the feet and the voice of Jesus Christ. That's our mission. Our mission is to make disciples. Make intentional disciples. Amen.